Coming up on Newsnight, a self-driving Uber topples in Arizona. See what that means for Pittsburgh.
Plus, meet some of Pittsburgh's newest feathered residents.
And find out what the weather will be like this weekend. All this and more on Newsnight.
You started your morning with us over on Daybreak, and thanks for choosing to end your evening with us at Newsnight. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I am Alex Grubbs alongside Jess Paterchak. Tonight we begin with some high-flying news. Pittsburgh has a brand new chicken town as the city's bald eagle's egg has hatched. The Audubon Society of Western Pennsylvania confirmed the egg hatched based on the behavior of the adult eagles in the nest, which is located along the Monongahela River. A live webcam that was used for monitoring the eagle's activity is currently unable to be pointed directly at the nest, WTAE reported. The Audubon Society said, quote, because the webcam cannot see into the rebuilt nest, there is no visual confirmation of the hatch, end quote. However, the parents are exhibiting behaviors consistent with a hatch. The eagle's original nest was lost in mid-February after a tree fell over due to high winds. Since then, the webcam has now been repositioned to the new nest.
Indiana Borough Police say 2 separate shootings happened near the campus of the Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And according to WTAE, 1 person was killed, 3 were injured, and 2 suspects were arrested. Local authorities said that 21-year-old Thomas Stanko was obtained and charged with counts of homicide and aggravated assault. An official statement from Stankos' lawyer reads, quote, Stanko was clearly defending himself, and at the preliminary hearing, it will be proven that he acted to protect himself, end quote. Both victims were treated and released from a hospital, and police are investigating the matter further. Another shooting occurred 40 minutes later and a few blocks away. According to WTAE, 21-year-old Carlos Ricalde Campos was said to be targeted by the result of a, quote, prior dispute, end quote. A bystander was also critically injured and is still awaiting updates. In connection with the shooting, local authorities charged 20-year-old Matt McNevin with multiple counts of homicide and attempted homicide. According to court documents, no defense attorneys have officially taken on McNevin's case. The shootings occurred during, quote, IU Patty's Day, an unsanctioned student celebration of St. Patrick's Day. IUP administrators have said the party has nothing to do with the university, and they have toughened penalties for any student who abuses the school's code of conduct. Investigations in both instances are ongoing.
Well, spring has sprung and warmer temperatures are on the way. It was a pretty nice day today, don't you think?
Yeah, it was.
We have Josh Croup in studio to share us with what's coming up. Josh, what's going on this week?
Hey Alex, you're right. A beautiful day today. We saw temperatures get as high as 60 degrees today. It was a wonderful afternoon. We had 60-degree highs, like I said, and looking at the rest of the week, 55 degrees tomorrow, 59 on Friday. So that's some bad news. You know, March came in like a lion. It's not going out like the lamb that we expected. We had some thunderstorms at the beginning of the month, some rain at the end. But now we move to April. April 1st is Saturday, April Fool's Day, 50 degrees. That's not a prank. 36 the low. Sunday, some cloudy conditions over the weekend. We also have a chance of some showers on Saturday on and off throughout the day, but that's the case over the next few days. Maybe some showers in the next couple weekends. So it just honestly looks bleak over the next couple weeks, guys.
Well, thanks, Josh. Well, at least it warmed up a little bit compared to, last week. It was pretty cool for, it being the beginning of spring. But I guess the April showers are coming early, I'm seeing this week.
I
We're
know.
looking into the
Hopefully
weekend.
get to see some flowers, I'm
now
really
we have
excited.
a new eagle.
We got the eagle.
So I guess spring might be coming, but I guess we're going to have some bad weather.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, true. And on the other side of the break, see what President Donald Trump is doing to roll back environmental regulations.
And find out what happened to a self-driving Uber in Arizona.
This and more when we return from the break on Newsnight.
All right, it's that time of the show, Case of the Week. Why is the Pioneer Sideline the best show to watch on YouView? Rob.
You know what? I don't even like this show. You always argue with me, and I never win.
Goodness, this guy.
Josh?
No, the reason Pioneer Sideline's the best show is because of the debates and the facts. The debates.
Paul.
No. It's because of Pioneer Sideline. We are the hypest, And it's the best decision you'll ever make because we have a playlist, Pioneer Sideline.
Get out of here.
Gentlemen, all good points, but it's because of me, Blaine King, your host. Watch the Pioneer Sideline.
All right, guys, any questions on scripts? We good to go?
Yep.
right.
Should be good.
All right, great. All right, yeah, camera 3 set up right there. Camera 2. All right. Use the ball when you're moving this around, but set up for the 2 shot just right there. Weather, how we doing?
It gon' rain.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Sarah Mackin with your sports.
The real host, Adrian Billon, was seen snuggling up.
All right, prompter. We got everything in. We're good to go. Key Pro, everything loaded. We're good to go. All right, Tyler. Any questions?
That shot looks fine.
3, 2, 1. Bring up camera 2. Open mics. Cue talent.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. I'm Blaine King.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Aubrey Henkin.
And I'm Aaron Myler.
And this is Entertainment on Point.
Beyonce has surprised us again.
Kanye West just tweeted,
"This was a huge weekend at the box office.
A fan favorite TV show just got canceled.
Guess what band is coming to the city? And the award went to...
But did you see her engagement ring?
Her outfit was awful.
I would fire her stylist.
Tune in for all of your Hollywood gossip and pop culture news.
Entertainment on Point.
Get into the point of pop culture.
Welcome back to Newsnight. North Carolina lawmakers took the first steps toward repealing and replacing the controversial House Bill 2 law earlier today. The bill, dubbed HB 2, was passed in late March of 2016 and is known for requiring people to use public restrooms that match their assigned gender at birth. Republican lawmakers in support of HB 2 agreed to a compromise late Wednesday. Well, today, actually, that includes a 3-year ban on local governments passing non-discrimination laws. The bill reads, quote, "No local government in this state may enact or amend an ordinance regulating private employment practices or regulating public accommodations," end quote. State legislators would be responsible for regulating multiple occupancy bathrooms and showers. The replacement bill has so far received criticism from gay rights groups claiming the compromise is not enough and HB 2 should be fully repealed. North Carolina has faced backlash on a financial front as well, suffering an estimated $3.7 million loss. This results from companies, entertainers, and professional sports teams refusing to expand and perform in North Carolina. The NCAA gave the state an ultimatum that the HB 2 law must be changed by Thursday in order to host any college sports championships through 2022. The replacement bill successfully passed through the Senate committee in full Senate this morning. The North Carolina House of Representatives must now decide whether to send it to Governor Roy Cooper for his signature.
Over the weekend in Tempe, Arizona, a self-driving Uber rolled onto its side when another vehicle collided into it. According to the safety section of Uber's website, quote, "Our technology enables us to focus on rider safety before, during, and after every trip," end quote. But according to KDKA, no one was severely injured in the crash. But it turns out that the, quote, an autonomous Uber did have 2 workers up front as passengers. The Tempe Police Department responded to the site of the crash, and the crash is also being investigated by Uber to determine out what went wrong. According to Uber officials, the Uber was operating on its own while being monitored by 2 workers at the time of the collision. Uber says another vehicle attempted to make a left turn and then struck this very Uber. Tempe is one of 2 cities in the U.S. that are testing self-driving Ubers, the other being Pittsburgh. The Post-Gazette says Uber temporarily stopped its fleet of self-driving cars but has since resumed service. Pittsburgh's division of Uber has made news recently about expanding its headquarters in the Strip District. Uber services 561 cities, stretching 6 continents, as it is available in all major cities.
On Tuesday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order to halt the U.S. government's attempts to stop carbon dioxide emissions. This comes 2 months after Trump ordered a media freeze from the Environmental Protection Agency. CNN reported Trump's advisors attribute the nature of this executive order to putting American jobs first. Trump has been an advocate for bringing jobs back to the coal industry, specifically in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. The EPA will now need to evaluate President Barack Obama's Clean Power Plan and take back regulations on coal mining. Trump has previously voiced his criticism of climate change policies, even tweeting years ago that climate change was a hoax created by the Chinese. The plan initially went to court after being unveiled on if the EPA was using too much power to regulate carbon emissions. A few previous Obama executive orders addressing global warming and climate change have been repealed by Trump within his 2 months into presidency. Whether the Paris Climate Agreement will continue or be withdrawn from is still a floating question.
And when we return, see what two corporate giants filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Plus, the UK has activated Article 50, starting their withdrawal from the EU. Find out what that means for the world.
And Meghan Macioce will be here to talk about the NCAA and the World Baseball Classic when we return from the break. You're watching Newsnight.
Here on the Pioneer Sideline, we talk a lot about sports in the studio, but it's beforehand when the conversation is actually interesting.
I hope I have enough powder on. I don't want to be too shiny on camera.
No, Trevor, I think it looks good every week you pull it off.
Ah, thanks, Phil. Man, your hair looks great tonight, by the way.
You sure? Yeah, I mean, I got a new haircut, but it looks all right.
Perfect.
Hey, guys. Does this make me look fat?
No, you look great. You look good.
Yeah, Kyle.
Thanks. That was really...
Sports! Yeah!
Ever wanted to be behind the mic and have the world listening to your show on campus? Well, it's just as simple as joining WPPJ, Point Park's student-run radio station, located on the second floor of Lawrence Hall, right next to the dining services. Listeners can tune in using Point Park's website or through the TuneIn app by searching WPPJ. WPPJ welcomes any new DJs that want to get involved, so be heard. Do you have what it takes?
Well, no one showed up to the show tonight. Follow my lead. In 3, 2, take 2, open mics, cue talent. Good evening and welcome to UView News. I'm Josh Croup. We begin with breaking news out of West Penn Hall. Ready, 3, take lower third. Traffic is backed up in the West Penn elevator line after elevator 1 broke down on the 7th floor. Lose lower third. Maintenance advises students to take the stairs to avoid delays. Ready, 2, take 2. In other news, no, you know what? I didn't sign up for this. We need crew. Join UView. Take alien hand transition.
British Prime Minister Theresa May officially triggered Article 50 on Tuesday, yesterday, beginning the UK's leave from the European Union. Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty allows countries within the EU to trigger their withdrawal from the Union. The BBC reported that EU British Representative Sir Tim Barrow delivered the formal letter from May to President of European Council Donald Tusk in Brussels today. May said to the BBC, quote, "The Article 50 process is now underway, and in accordance with the British people, the United Kingdom is now leaving the European Union," end quote. In 2013, former Prime Minister David Cameron promised the people in the UK a Brexit referendum by the end of 2017 at the latest. Last June, the UK voted slightly above 50% in favor of leaving the EU. This led to a political shakeup with political party leaders such as Cameron, despite being in favor of staying, UKIP's Nigel Farage, and Conservative Party's Boris Johnson leaving, although the latter being strong forces behind the leave vote. This trigger will begin the 2-year legal process between the UK and the EU, re-landscaping economic deals for the country. May hopes to keep a special relationship with the EU.
Also, not so good new news came this week for corporate giant Westinghouse. According to KDKA, Westinghouse, the parent company of Toshiba, is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. This has a direct impact on over 4,500 employees for Westinghouse in the greater Pittsburgh area. Earlier this week, a public statement was released by the CEO of Toshiba saying, quote, "As it was explained, I sincerely apologize to our shareholders and all other stakeholders for any concern or inconvenience caused by issues," end quote. This isn't the first apology as of late coming from Toshiba and Westinghouse. Recently, the companies released another statement apologizing for inflating the profit of products by over 30% for a total of $1.2 billion. There is also controversy with the construction of 8 nuclear power plants, 4 of which will be in the United States, while the other 4 will be in China. The funds for these facilities is also questionable due to these extenuating circumstances. When the plans originated for these nuclear power plants to be constructed, nuclear power was in resurgence and was known as a much cleaner and cheaper way to basically replace other non-renewable, dirtier energy sources. Regardless of what happens, the companies say these facilities in the U.S. and China will be completed according to plan.
Switching gears a little, the field of 68 college basketball teams have now been whittled down to the Final Four. Joining us in studio to bring us to speed is Meghan Macioce. Meghan, what's the Final Four looking like this year?
The Final Four is set, but most people's brackets are busted. The Final Four will be Oregon, UNC, South Carolina, and Gonzaga. North Carolina will be looking to get back to the championship game after losing a heartbreaker last season to Villanova on a last-second 3 from Chris Jenkins. This is the 20th appearance for the Tar Heels in program history, but they will have to face a hot Oregon team who advanced to their first Final Four in 77 years, after rolling right over heavily favored Kansas. That game will be played on April Fool's Day at 8:49 at night. But the earlier of the 2 games will be the number 1 seed Gonzaga against the number 7 seed South Carolina. Both teams are making their first Final Four appearances, and after Saturday, only one program will be making their first championship appearance. Tip-off between the Bulldogs and Gamecocks is scheduled for 6:09 this Saturday evening. From the court to the diamond, the World Baseball Classic has concluded with Team USA winning its first title in 4 WBC tournaments. The U.S. defeated Puerto Rico 8-0 behind a strong pitching performance from Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Marcus Stroman. The 5'8" Stroman took a no-hitter into the 7th inning, where he had over 51,000 fans cheering inside Dodger Stadium. Stroman recalls the night saying, quote, "I love pitching in these moments, love the atmosphere," end quote. Now with all the players back from the WBC, they will rejoin their teams as they get ready for opening day, which is right around the corner. That's all I have for sports. Back over to Jess and Alex at the desk.
Meghan, I know that you picked UCLA to win in your bracket this year. I had Villanova. Apparently they're not going, of course. What do you think that this Final Four is going to do differently than what people were expecting?
I'm going to be really surprised if Gonzaga or UNC wins, just because the higher seeds have been losing. I was really surprised when Villanova and Duke went out as early as they did, as well as UCLA. I think they're going to give them a good run, but South Carolina and Oregon are really hot, so I'll be interested to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the Final Four? Who do you think is going to take it?
As much as I'd like to say one of the number 1 teams, I really think it's going to be South Carolina. They've already proven they can beat the higher seeds in their conference, so I'm going to go with South Carolina.
Should be interesting, because I feel like Gonzaga is going to get it. That's me personally.
No, I know.
I don't know about you.
No, Gonzaga's been the name.
I know.
Like, it's crazy, but I guess we'll see what happens.
I guess we will see what happens.
And that is your news tonight. For Alex Grubbs and the whole NewsNight crew, I'm Jess Paterchak. Have a great night.